Hi everybody, this is Mike Pfeiffer. We're going to do a little video this morning on how to fix an ice maker in our Samsung refrigerator. I will go on to explain to you what it was doing, show you the parts that when I removed them, and show you the repair parts and tell you where to get the parts. It's a very simple process. So let's take a look at this thing. Okay. One of the first things they're going to ask you is what the model number is, and you can on this particular model you can unlock and lock as many do. We have it not making any ice right now. It's actually already been repaired, but I'm going to show you how I did it. Anyway, the model number is on the inside of the door right here. This is the model of this particular refrigerator. And when you go looking for the part, you're going to look for it by this model number. So let's look inside the freezer. The freezer in this model is on the bottom. This is the ice maker. This is the ice maker unit. And let me just tell you what happens when your ice maker is probably not working. It's either not. What'll happen is it either won't dump the ice cubes out. This mechanism here won't tell the ice maker that it's full. The ice tray is full. There's many things that can happen, but I'm going to get into explaining those in a minute here. And let me remove this cover. Okay, this cover is removed by just simply bending it ever so slightly over to the right and then just removing it like so. You have to be kind of careful. It's an easy breakable item, and this item is no longer available. Now that I have that removed, you can see I have the new ice cube tray in there right now. But this is how the ice maker is supposed to work. There's a test button right here. You can see this little black thing on the bottom. If I push that button and hold it, you can see the ice cube tray turning. It'll get to a certain point, it'll hit a stop, and it spins the ice cube tray, which dumps the ice cubes out. It returns to its normal position. And when the door is, usually when the door is closed, I guess it's because the ice has been off for a while, but anyways, you saw that it filled back up with the correct amount of water. Now that water will freeze, make ice cubes, and the cycle goes on. I'm going to take the unit out and tell you what was wrong with it and show you how it comes in and out. Okay, as you saw, the ice cube tray filled up with water. I had forgotten to turn the water off. I would recommend turning, if you have a place to turn the water off, if you have a filter on it, turn the water off to the ice cube tray while you're doing any of these repairs. It'll just keep water from going down in the bottom tray and getting all over the place. My mistake. But anyway, I dumped the ice cubes into a different container. I put the ice cube container back in here, and I'm going to hit the recycle or the test button again, which is going to dump the water out of the tray. And you can see the tray bending once again. The idea of the tray has to bend to get the ice cubes out. That never occurred to me when I tried to fix this the first time. So be aware of the way it operates, okay? Now this is a good functioning ice maker here. Now I'm going to show you how to remove it. Okay, there's only 2 screws that hold this ice maker in, and I'm going to try and work around the camera here. One is right up in here. You will find a hole. And of course you can hear the beeper going because the door is open, the door alarm. You just take this one screw out here and catch it so that it doesn't fall in your bottom, if you don't take the bottom tray out, so that you don't lose the screw. There's one other screw on this side. And you just got to mess around until you find it. Start screwing it down, and you notice I'm holding up the ice maker with my left hand here. Well, you may not be able to see that. Hang on a minute. Now you may be able to see that I'm holding up the ice maker with my left hand. Yep, and there it went, down in the other tray. So I'm going to take the tray out to find that screw. That's the thing I was trying to avoid. But nevertheless, now you just basically pull back, straight back, gently, and it releases from two tabs in the back. And I think you can see them in this picture. Now all we do is reach back here, and there's a plug that has a little pin on the bottom that you just squeeze, and I'll show you a better view of the plug. And you unplug it, and out comes your ice maker. Now you can see how that was in there. You just push on that to unplug it, okay? And at this point, out comes your ice maker. Okay, so this is your ice maker assembly. You have your motor unit over here. This is the fill arm. When the ice cubes get so full in the tray, it pushes this up and in theory shuts off the ice maker. However, we find that the ice maker overfills quite frequently. This is the motor and the gears that operate the rotation of the tray. There's a thermal sensor inside of here. I believe it's a thermal sensor, which never goes bad, I would assume. And you have the tray, which goes down to this end, and the pin fits through a hole and rotates within that hole. When the tray rotates around, it hits on this lip up here, and then the motor here continues to rotate the tray, and that's what bends the tray and dumps the ice cubes out. Now we'll take a look at the top of it. All there is just some holders that hold the wiring harness. These are the two fittings that actually go back and hook onto lugs in the back. And these are the two holes that your screws go into. So basically two screws hold this whole ice maker in, and the only thing that connects it is this right here. Very rarely do you have a problem with the inlet, the water inlet or anything. And I would assume that very rarely you'd probably have a problem with this motor. It's a pretty simple mechanism. What you do have a problem with, apparently, and what I did have a problem with, is my tray broke. You can see, maybe you can't, you can see here that I tried to use a soldering iron and plastic weld it. It worked for about a day. There's just a lot of stress at this particular point on this tray. Plus, I think the tray got a little older and got a little bit more brittle. They're, as you can see here, if I push down on this, they're relatively bendable. But this one is much stiffer, not much, but somewhat stiffer than the new tray that I got. I initially ordered a whole motor unit. This unit and a tray was like $80-some. I found out I didn't need a motor because I thought the motor was overdriving the tray. It was not. It was just the fact that the tray was broken and the tray would not flex and dump the ice cubes out. When it didn't do that, the ice cube tray would fill or stay full of ice cubes. It would try and refill with water, and the water would basically just overfill the tray, freeze on top of the ice cubes, run out into the tray, and it would just keep doing that until the entire tray below was one big block of ice. And that was the problem I was having. So once I got it out, found out that my tray was broken, tried to fix it, put it back in, didn't work. That's when I ordered the whole assembly. Well, then I found out the assembly was good. I had to send it back and got a new tray. The first assembly I got only had, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It only had 6 ice cube holders on it, so the tray was too short. But I then found out that you have to order the correct tray. The motor assembly was correct. The motor assembly that I ordered was correct. The tray was the wrong length. So there's different, you have to be aware that there's different lengths of trays for these. I ordered the tray. The tray was only like $3 or $4. It was really, really inexpensive and wound up being the total fix. But let me show you how this thing comes apart so you can replace the tray. It's real easy. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is undo the wiring harness. Turn it over, and right here you see a tab. You pull down on that tab and you slide the motor assembly to the right. The motor and the tray come right out. Okay? All there is to it. Now, to replace the tray, even though this is a new tray, there's a cover and there's a sensor inside of here, as I mentioned. You push in on this and rotate this cap back, and it unhooks. You can see that there's a little hook on there. It unhooks from a loop back here in the back. You take this sensor out. The only thing to be aware of on this sensor is that it just falls out of there, okay? It's obvious how it fits in there. It lays in there like that. There's a groove here for the wire. When you put it back in, I'll show you that in a minute. But anyway, now your tray is totally free. This was the tray I would have been taking out. This is the tray I'm putting back in. And you can see that there's a little bit difference in appearance of the material. And that this tray is kind of rigid. This tray must be a new design. It's extremely flexible. So, this is the tab that hits and bends the tray. So now we're going to reassemble it. So I'm going to take this rubber pad, or this rubber retainer. I'm going to kind of stick it in there temporarily. I'm going to stick the sensor in, run the wire down the little side groove there, and just kind of hold that in place as I rotate that in, which holds that in place. Take the wire from the sensor, hook it through the little eyelet there. Now we're going to take the cover, we're going to hook the hook in the hole. When we do that, these tabs you kind of gotta flex them to get them back over the back side of that rubber. Once you do, this tab here goes behind this, snaps in place, and that retains your sensor back into your tray. Now to reassemble it, you basically stick the tray onto the tab, facing upward of course, because the unit is upside down. Stick the pin in the end in the hole. You take the motor unit, sit it down in, you offset to the right, push down on it to bend that tab, click it into place by sliding it to the left, and you're done. Put the wiring harness back up through the top, and there you have your new tray, which was already a new tray, but I'm just showing you how it comes in and out. Now we're going to put it back in the reverse order, and that'll be it. Okay, we're getting ready to stick it back in. I'm going to try and get the screwdriver and show you these little retainers right here and right here. Is what the ice cube tray hooks on, or the back of the unit hooks on when we slide it back in there. So you kind of have to hold up on the unit and slide it in, and then we'll put the screws in. So let me pan back, and let's put it in. Okay, first things first, we got to plug the plug in. And I may not be able to do it around the camera here. Let me see if I can move the camera. the little retaining clip goes downward, and you just kind of have to feel for the hole. There, you heard it snap in. Now what we do is slide the tray onto the pins in the back, and they are firm. Take the screw and get one of these screws started. Take the other screw, get it started, and run it all the way in. Sorry about that. And you don't need to over tighten it, just moderately tight. It ain't gonna go anywhere. If I can find this screw, I'll be okay. Now your tray's back in place. I still have the water off. Let me move the camera just a little bit and pan in here somewhat. And I'm going to push the test button again. And you can see the tray rotate and bend. And come back. And if I had the water turned on once again, it would fill up with water. Now keep in mind that the first time I worked on this, I couldn't figure out why the water wouldn't fill up. Sometimes if the door's been open for a while, you've got to close the door before the water will actually activate. But anyways, that's how to fix the ice maker on your Samsung refrigerator. Well, I hope that made it simpler for any of you who have had a problem with the ice maker in your Samsung refrigerator. I would assume that this model is very similar to others, like I said, and I hope this helps, and we'll see you the next time. Thanks for watching.